Hey guys, welcome to the Greasy podcast. It is October 18th, and this is our Friday show for this week. I'm really excited, and we're going to kick things off with some football. We're going to talk about the Thursday night game real quick. A lot of big storylines in there because Pat Mahomes got hurt. It looks scary. He's out for 3 weeks, it sounds like. Everyone was scared because there was reports that it was pain on the outside of his knee, which is where the ACL is, and they had to. If you didn't see the video already, there was the trainers on the field when he was still down had to pop his knee back into place. So that's a scary sight, especially if you're a Chiefs fan.
That means there's no ligament damage, right?
That means there's no ligament damage. They did the MRI this morning, and
Should be back.
he should be
Three
back.
weeks.
But does this kind of go along with the old legend that the Madden curse is real?
Yeah, it's happened every
I mean,
player.
in the past, recently.
Well, because it was
AB was
no, no, no.
last year.
Hold on, it was because it was Rob Gronkowski. Rob Gronkowski, he was injured the year after.
Season.
For the whole
He
season.
retired.
No, he retired last year.
Yeah.
That doesn't really apply. And then it was. I can already tell Bo's putting a dumbass over Jaden real quick. Yes, he's ready. We're off to a hot start. We're like not even 2 minutes in, and Jaden's a
I know.
dumbass. All right,
1
sweet.
minute and 20 seconds to be exact.
1 minute and 20 seconds, sweet. And then the next year was Tom Brady, and he lost in the Super Bowl to the Eagles, even though he put up 505 yards, set a Super Bowl record, playoff record,
Yes.
actually. And then it was AB. AB went fucking nuts. He's on my fantasy team. I've said that so many times. He pissed me off, ruined my fucking team. And then now Pat Mahomes. I mean, he's just getting hurt. Chiefs are looking pretty weak right now. Just the whole team in general is kind of taking a hit from this.
This could be a good few weeks for teams to take advantage of the Chiefs.
Yeah, they play the Packers and the Vikings over that 3 week span that
That
Mahomes
could be
is.
an easy 2 losses without Mahomes.
It could be an easy 2 losses. The difference is Packers have the Chiefs at home,
Yes.
and then the Vikings have to go on the road to Arrowhead, which even though they were in a divisional game last night, they still won 30-6 against a struggling Broncos team. Joe Flacco is not elite. John Elway said before the season, at 34, he's just entering his prime. John Elway looks like a fucking idiot right now because Joe Flacco is clearly not elite. So
If John Elway was on the show, would you let him hold the dumbass bar?
he could hold every fucking letter individually and spell it out for everyone. Like, that was fucking ridiculous. Like, he only drafts tall quarterbacks.
He's so dumb, you
That
might
is
have to let
true.
him know that the B is silent.
I like that. But anyway, after Mahomes went out, he was only 10 for 11, 76 yards. So not the Broncos, the Chiefs were already kind of struggling a little bit. Matt Moore comes in, goes for 10 for 19,
Not bad.
117 yards. Not terrible. And a touchdown. He was efficient. I mean, not a lot of balls downfield besides that one. Like, it was like a 51-yarder, 56-yarder to Tyreek. One explosive play, but that was enough to get them the win. I mean, they won 30-6. Joe Flacco stunk.
Oh, yeah,
And he just straight up stunk. I mean,
like crap this whole year.
21 to 34, 213, no touchdowns, no picks. But it's like you're not producing at all. They couldn't get the running game going. Both of them were averaging under 3.5 yards a carry. Royce Freeman and
Games like that.
you can't win football games when you're relying on a guy that looks like he belongs on Sesame Street. I mean, I'm okay with Cortland Sutton though. He got me some points last night.
Same.
He's pretty much the only weapon that they have on offense right now. Philip Lindsay has been very quiet.
Showing up.
But I mean, we didn't go over our picks last week. For this game, we just completely blanked it out. But me and Jaden both picked the Chiefs,
Both the KC.
and even with the injury, they still came out with the win. And we're gonna see how this turns out the rest of the year because this is gonna really show how good of a coach Andy Reid is, being able to
Who knows, maybe-
survive without a guy as good as Pat Mahomes. He's a
They're gonna keep him
generational
out for
talent.
longer than 3 weeks too, because they might want to play it safe with him too.
They might want to play it safe, but depending on if they win these games or
That's
not,
the
they
thing.
might have
I
to
think
throw him in.
It's gonna depend on how the next few weeks goes. I think.
Especially with that AFC West, it's wide open now. The Chargers have their chance to maybe
Yeah.
make a run and try to take over this division.
Okay, so you announced your first pick. Before we get into all the other games and stuff, you want to let them know what the pick situation is for this week?
All right, so me and Jaden here, we go over our picks in the middle of the week. Once we kind of get an idea of the injury reports and stuff like that, and we're gonna start doing little punishments now at the end of every week. And
Every Monday show.
every Monday
Picks will be announced Friday show.
Yep.
Punishment Monday show.
So Punishment Monday show. If Mondays didn't suck enough already, one of us next Monday's probably gonna get a bunch
Pie
of
to
whipped
the
cream to the
face,
face. And
Interesting.
so far, I mean, we're just gonna do it week by week, but we are keeping tally on our overall season records, even though we started the show after like week 3 or something like
3
that.
or 4 weeks,
But as of right now, since last week, I'm
you're 9-5.
I'm 9-5. I'm pretty
12.
rough. I claim to be the football expert, and
I'm
the guy who
12-2.
holds a dumbass bar for like a third of the show.
I'm 12-2. I'm 12-2.
He's
I'm
12-2. He's 12-2. He's got me. I mean, he got me on that Jets Cowboys game a couple weeks ago. Like, that really fucked me. I mean, what can you do? Like I said, I like being wrong sometimes. Makes football way more interesting.
It does.
So that's kind of the gist of it. So that was the Thursday night game. Chiefs got the win, even with the injury issues with Pat Mahomes and that shitty defense. So our first game we're going to talk about is the Niners and the Redskins. Redskins got the win in the Toilet Bowl last week against the Dolphins. They moved to 1-5. They're on what we would call a hot streak, I guess, for what you can call the Redskins. But they're playing the 5-0 49ers in Washington, and honestly, is that a countdown? I think that's a countdown.
I think that's a countdown. Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Niners.
Redskins.
Do we need to cut?
Bo, do you need to hold the
Do we need to do?
bar?
Is everything
Yeah, I'm holding it up.
is everything okay at home, Bowden?
I'm just messing with you.
All right. I just want to make sure you don't seem like yourself right now, picking the skins like that. But
Hey, yes, faith in case.
Niners gonna be 6-0 after this game. They have the best defense in the league right now. They had a historically bad defense last year. They only had, I think, like 7 takeaways throughout all 16 games, which is an NFL record for least amount of takeaways. And now they're pretty high up there. That front seven's amazing. Like, they have guys like Solomon Thomas, who's like, his talent is superior to almost anyone in this league, and he's coming off the bench for them as a rotational defensive lineman. That's amazing. And then you have Nick Bosa. And then you have the flag planter. He just stuffed it all over Baker last week. That was funnier than shit. But then we have they have DeForest Buckner. They just have a bunch of men up front, and that helps them out a lot. Jimmy G's taking care of the ball. They're the number 1 team in the league for rushing.
That team's gonna be good for years.
They're gonna be good. They have a good foundation. John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan have really built a fucking squad over there. I didn't think the Niners would be this good, but they are the best team in the NFC right now, and there's really not much you can do to argue that. I'm sure dipshit over here might be able to argue the Packers, but you know what? Stupid is as stupid does. Am I right?
I still think the 49ers are the number 1 team in the NFC.
I feel like you're being humble with that.
I don't.
I can feel you getting angry over that.
If the Packers could play if they could play a full game of football, then possibly, but...
All right, but I think we both picked the Niners in that one,
Yeah,
obviously. We did the countdown, so Niners are going to take that one. Next up, we have the Cardinals and the Giants.
Both got Arizona.
We both picked Arizona. We're feeling good about Kyler and Cliff. They're
2 straight wins. This could be number 3.
This could be number 3. Giants defense is complete dog shit. That's what got Kirk Cousins back on his roll. And if you can get Kirk Cousins hot again after being as bad as he was, you're dog shit defense. And
ever since that game, Danny Dimes just hasn't been the same.
Danny Dimes has not been the same. He saw an actual NFL defense, so
he's been struggling since then. He hasn't been able to put up the numbers he did the first few weeks.
Kyler's starting to get in a groove. I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Kyler.
I feel like if they could win this game, I don't think they'll make a push for the playoffs, but I think they could be around a 500 team.
They very well could be. They're not going to be a playoff team. That NFC West is way too tough. We both have the Cardinals winning that one. I think Kyler's going to have another great game against a very bad defense. And, I mean, it's not like the Cardinals are much better on defense, but I still think they have the advantage talent-wise. They have better weapons for Kyler.
They just destroyed the Falcons defense, who has a lot of talent, but they just...
The Falcons defense has a lot of talent, and...
They just don't play.
The thing is, Dan Quinn's going to lose his fucking job.
Oh, yeah.
I'm calling it. He's getting fired. He might get fired halfway through the season.
That's what I think.
He could get fired after this next game.
Yeah.
You called it on Monday, too.
Did I call it on Monday? Okay, well, I'm pretty sure there's no way
he
Dan
could be
Quinn...
out any second.
He's on the hot seat.
I think they're just going to give him one more week. I feel like if they lose, he could be out after this week.
Because he's a defensive-minded coach. He's a defensive-minded coach, and they can't fucking stop anything. Like, why would you be a head coach of a team being defensively minded, and how do you still have your job?
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean, Cardinals, we both got them in this one. Next up, we got an AFC South divisional matchup, the Colts and the Texans.
We picked different.
We did pick different.
You got Indy, I got Houston.
I picked Indy, and, I was going to pick Houston because they didn't allow a sack for the last 2 weeks, which there's only been 3 games like that in Deshaun Watson's career, and both times he's won, and he's put up, near-career numbers, and it was last week against the Falcons. Well, it was a week before.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a full 2 weeks yet, but he had a career game, and he absolutely lit him up. You give him a shitty defense, and you give him time. Deshaun Watson's going to do special things.
This is going to be a true test for him
And
that whole offense, I think.
It's just the Colts' defense has actually been pretty fucking good this year. They're a top 5 defense in the NFL. I mean, the offense hasn't exactly been there, but they're at home. They have a very loyal fan base. They have a good home field advantage, and I think that defense is going to do just enough. I mean, I still think Deshaun Watson's going to have a big game. I think it's going to be a shootout, but I'm just going to, I got to
It's all going to depend on, I think, that Houston
I have to
offensive
pick
line.
different games than Jaden to get ahead of him. So I'm picking the home team with the better defense.
Well, I'm going to propose something, okay? And obviously, Chase, it's your show. I think just so there's a little bit more parity in your guys' picks, let's say that if it's tied, you both have to face it. You both have to face a punishment.
Yeah,
think about that.
Yeah.
Because if you pick too much of the same, you guys just end up tied.
Oh yeah, then that's our own fault, and we deserve to get pie in the face
this
anyway.
week we only have,
So
we have
that way
4
there'll be a
different.
little more parity between the picks.
Yeah, no, I have no issue with that.
Here we go.
No, I'm down with that.
And this week, I think you did say it, but it's going to be a pie to the face, a whipped cream pie to the face.
I'm not gonna lie, I almost said cream pie the first time. I corrected myself, and I'm getting a dumbass, aren't I? Hey, you know what? I'm owning up to the mistake I almost made. So I mean, I guess that's something. I'm just gonna hold it. Allegedly, I almost said cream pie to the face. Shit. All right. But yeah, I mean, I'm assuming Jaden's gonna go with Houston because of Deshaun Watson.
It's all got. I think this game's all dependent on that Houston offensive line if they can protect Watson. If he gets protected, yeah, I think that offense can. They're not going to destroy Indianapolis in any way, but I think they can.
I can see Watson. Like, I still think he's gonna push 300 yards and get right above 300 yards. I think he still could have a big game, but the only thing that's holding me back is the Colts defense at home, and
that struggling offensive line.
that struggling offensive line. The Colts are the best defense they've faced in the last few
yeah.
weeks, so that's why I'm kind of reeling back on the Texans right now, not trying to ride too high on them. Next game, oh man, I know Jaden wants to talk about this one, and I don't think it's going to be as easy as everyone thinks. It's the 5-1 Packers at home in Lambeau against the 3-2 Oakland Raiders, who they've looked a little bit better the last couple weeks. But then you think about it, they played the Vikings in Minneapolis, and it wasn't a close game whatsoever. They looked like a team that should just tank, but they've kind of...
But then they beat the Bears.
And then they beat the Bears. That was a London game, though, so that was a neutral site game. But they outright beat the Bears because they had Chase Daniel.
Yeah.
But it's not like Trubisky's that much better. Trubisky's ponder, but he can run a little bit better.
And he has a little bit better accuracy.
I think he's just a little bit better version of Christian Ponder, and I think he's gonna pan out that way. I don't know how long Trubisky's gonna hold that potential franchise tag quarterback, name tag he's got going on, but it's whatever. But
yeah, I think the Packers could struggle this game. They're not gonna have Adams.
They're not gonna have
They might
Devontae.
not
He still has turf toe from a couple weeks ago,
And
so
they might
he's
not
out.
have MVS either. I heard.
So
And
that's
their-
two big weapons.
That's their two biggest receivers. And knowing how the Packers defense has been playing with the run game,
They should have lost
can't
against
stop
Detroit.
that. They should have.
They should have lost against Detroit. I'm not saying the refs are paid or anything, but the refs fucked that up so bad. The Lions gave that away. No matter what, you can't use the officials as an excuse.
Yeah.
But, like, are you fucking kidding me? 2 illegal hands to the face penalties on Trey Flowers when he grabbed the shoulder pad. That's 15 yards. Is it only 5? It's only 5 yards, but it's an automatic first down no matter what. That resets the chains, and they were pretty much in the red zone or within scoring distance on both of those calls. That absolutely changed the game. It fucked everything up, and the Packers are a 5-1 team that don't deserve to be a 5-1
They should
team.
be 4-2.
They should be 4-2.
Fan admitting that too. So.
Kirk Cousins gave them that game. It's not like the officials fucked that up. That is the guy that holds the ball every single fucking play on offense fucked it up, so you deserve to lose that one.
Okay, that's fair.
Like, I will continually say that the Vikings should have won that game. They were the better team, but Kirk was not playing well that day. He looked like complete shit. And we're going to get to Kirk here on the next talk. I mean, I got a few things to say about Kirk. But,
anyways, we both picked Green Bay.
I think this is a trap game. I picked Green Bay.
Yeah.
Just because, my gut says Green Bay's going to fucking win this game, but it could be a trap game. It could be like that Bills game last year for the Vikings. you think you're going against an easy team that's out of conference, like you could probably just get away with one. But I mean, the Raiders are kind of hot. They got their running game going. Josh Jacobs is one hell of a football player.
He's playing amazing football.
And it could be a trap game. They look bad against the Lions. Granted, the Lions aren't a team that you can just look past, but.
Yeah.
I say it's a trap game, still picking the Packers, but I will not be surprised if the Raiders do come out with a win on this one. Now let's talk about the Vikings.
We didn't pick the same team here.
See, yeah, we didn't pick the same team. For some reason, he picked fucking Detroit.
Detroit's not bad. They're not a bad team.
They are not a bad team, but...
That defense is good. This is the best defense I've seen the Lions have in a long time. Yeah, I'll hold it up.
Yeah,
I don't care. But just know this now. If the Lions win, I'm gonna give both of you shit for a few weeks because you gave me shit for that Jets game. And,
Fuck you. You got the refs on the fucking Packers side. That's some horse shit.
Okay, but if
they should be tied in the division right now.
Just look at this though. The Packers, if one of those calls weren't called, they're still in field goal range. That field goal ties it up, and Matthews.
Without your number one red zone weapon.
I'm still saying though, that's a field goal right there. It's tied game. And then the Lions have like a minute to run down the field.
Yeah, but those penalties also killed off clock. That's
Okay,
the thing. If
but
they never
I'm just
called those,
saying.
there wouldn't be that clock that was killed. The Lions would have had a chance. The Lions were moving the ball on what's supposed to be an elite Packers defense, which is very much, overrated.
Emphasis on supposed to be.
Hey,
Emphasis.
Okay, they're not elite now.
Emphasis
They'll be
on
elite. They'll be good in a few years.
A few years.
Give that.
Who fucking
that
cares? What about
secondary.
this year?
That secondary is so
Dar-
young.
Dar- Dar- you have fucking... Okay, Darnell
Jair
Savage.
Alexander is already.
I haven't
young.
heard Darnell Savage's name called in like 3 weeks. I forgot he fucking existed.
Amos is playing just fine.
Yeah, Amos got one pick against the fucking Bears because Trubisky literally lobbed it up to him in the back of the end zone.
Jair is playing.
Okay,
just fine.
Jair is an elite corner.
He's got burnt in one game, and that was in the last game before this one.
Who fucking cares? That's one guy out of 4 or 5 potential guys on the field at a time for a secondary. Most defenses in the NFL run out of a nickel package. You need to have 5 good defensive backs on the field at once, and they have to be like in rhythm, and they have to know what each other what they're all doing.
If they get rid of Kevin King, that defense.
Kevin King is like Trey Waynes from last year.
That's what I'm saying.
He is
if
dog shit.
If they get rid of him, they'll be fine. You get rid of him,
They get rid of one player.
and they need to start actually like in free agency. They need to start going after people. They can't just not help build their team. Like they're playing like the Ted Thompson way still. You're not a Packer fan, so you wouldn't understand.
Matt
what the Ted
LaFleur
Thompson way
made
is.
it so his defensive players can't celebrate after sacks anymore. Because Zadarius Smith, after he sacked Stafford last week, he laid down and pretended to sleep, and he's just like, nope, no more fun. So there goes the camaraderie for the Packers.
That's that Canadian, good sportsmanship right there. That politeness.
It's so stupid. It's the fucking league, bro.
That is
Let them celebrate. I don't know, but, I mean, I have the Vikings winning this one. I mean, the one thing I will say is we're in a little Kirk Cousins pattern right now. First game he didn't play bad, but he didn't do anything.
That's
right?
true.
The next 3 games, he looks fucking terrible. Bottom of the barrel, bad Kirk Cousins. And then these last 2 weeks against defenses that he should shred, he had career games against, and people are starting to change his opinion on him.
I was just gonna, not to interrupt, but I was just gonna ask. Do you think that he's getting in a groove now, or do you think it's still kind of inconsistent to the point where you're skeptical on each?
I'm still skeptical. I'm gonna be honest. As a Vikings fan, every time you drop back for a pass and you're watching it, for a Packers fan, it's different, obviously. There's only been a few times as a Vikings fan where I could say when the quarterback dropped back to pass, I wasn't uptight, I wasn't nervous. When you have a guy like Aaron Rodgers, when he drops back, you're like, he's gonna make a play, he's gonna make the right choice with the ball. You're just like, you're like, all right, let's see what he does. Whenever Kirk drops back, I am literally sitting straight up, and I'm on the verge of fucking shaking, because the second I see someone break through the line, I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna piss his pants, and he's just gonna drop the ball and let them scoop and score. I get so fucking nervous, and this is a guy that just over the last 2 games, he's put up 700 yards and 6 touchdowns to one interception that wasn't even his fault. It was a great ball on third down that Diggs popped up in the air and it got caught by a
And
safety.
he admitted it, though. He admitted it.
And Diggs admitted it, and that's what I like about Diggs is, even though he's been kind of a pain in the ass over the last couple weeks, he's still owning up to it. He's still being mature. He's the player we thought he was. Him and Thielen are still, the best of friends in the world, and I want to keep these guys around. But two really good games against secondaries that are not good at all. Kirk looked really fucking confident with his throws, but I'm still nervous because it's on the road, it's a divisional game, it's a game we have to win, and the Lions' defense isn't exactly a joke. They have Darius Slay, he's an elite corner in the league. They have Damon Harrison Snacks Jr. Like, he's a premier he's a premier D tackle, nose tackle in the entire league. Like, he's probably the best interior defensive lineman in the entire league. And that worries me a little bit, but Garrett Bradbury, he's been doing pretty well, but this is his first real test against an elite defensive lineman, so we'll see how he holds up. The line's been getting better as we go. We've been able to keep the run game going, even if it's not a lot of yards per carry. We're keeping defenses honest, but I still have the Vikings winning this one. We have the Lions number over the last few years. I'm worried, but I think they're going to get it. The thing I'm going to watch, obviously, like any other football fan, is Kirk going to crumble, or is he going to have another great performance where he's confident with his throws?
I feel like this game could show who Kirk actually is.
This is a game where it could show who Kirk
I think
actually
that
is.
if Kirk plays the way he did the last 2 weeks, I think we can beat anybody. However, if he plays how
Absolutely, we have the
against
talent.
the Packers or the Bears, I think we could lose to anybody.
See, I didn't expect him to play that bad against the Packers because the 2 games against the Packers last year, he shredded them. They couldn't fucking get to him. He looked phenomenal. And then against the Bears, he's looked shitty against the Bears in every game we've played with him so far. So I was not surprised. Packers game, I was a little surprised, but their defense stepped up. Not an elite defense. They're okay. They're middle of the pack,
They're
and
better
that's all they're gonna fucking
They're
be.
better than what it's been in the past.
Which isn't saying much, and that's still not as good as the Vikings defense. All right, next up we have the Jaguars and the 0-6 Bengals.
We both got Minshew magic.
We both have Minshew magic going. The Bengals just don't do fucking anything. Like, AJ Green's still not playing.
It's not gonna be a good game to watch at all.
It's not going to be a good game.
show.
I'm going to watch the highlights, and I'm
That's
probably
about
going to start doing homework in the middle of the fucking highlights. Like, I don't care about this game really. I mean, I like Minshew,
Oh yeah,
but first game without Jalen Ramsey should be interesting. But
that is true. Yeah.
I hope I have the Jaguars.
Yeah,
This
we
one,
we both got
we
Minshew
both have the
magic.
Jaguars. Okay, I'm probably not going to pick the Bengals the rest of the fucking year. Honestly, they're not going to go 0-16, but they're not going to be favored in any game. Next up,
I think this is a countdown.
this is definitely a countdown. All right, so it's the 0-5 Miami Dolphins going to Buffalo to play the Bills.
3, 2, 1.
Buffalo.
Circle the wagon. That's Bills. Bills Mafia is going to come out happy in this one. Josh Allen, super tall, rocket arm, can move, looks great in shorts. I'm going to go with Josh Allen. Bills defense has been phenomenal. Dolphins, I don't...
There's nothing good to say about
They
this
could...
team in any way.
They're like a 500 team in the SEC at this point. Like, that's how bad they are.
That is
Kidding, they would wreck the SEC, but they look
Would
really...
they?
No, they wouldn't.
Is that a conversation that we should start having?
No, because the...
Alabama would be more fun in the NFL to watch.
but the thing is the skill level. Even though the worst team, the 0-16 Lions could beat any college football team.
This is a conversation. So last week you talked about the 0-16 Lions and the 0-16 Browns, and you mentioned, or this was 2 weeks ago, you mentioned that the 0-16 Browns would wreck the 0-16 Lions.
Absolutely.
Which I absolutely agree. Those 0-16 Browns were in a lot of
They
those
could have
games.
won like 6 games that year.
I honestly feel like it was really unfortunate what they went through. However, this Dolphins team is arguably the worst team we've ever seen. Is that fair to say?
It is, but it doesn't really help when you're playing in the division with the Patriots.
Again, though, it was always that conversation like, could Alabama beat the Browns? Could Alabama beat the Lions? Do you think Alabama could beat this Dolphins team?
No, not a fucking chance. Give me a scout team in the NFL, put them against starters at any fucking SEC school. It probably wouldn't even be close. The level of difficulty from professional to college football, no matter where you play, who you play for, just the speed of the game, how complex it is, and just how smart they are, is just, it's not even close. Like,
different style of football.
Totally different style of football. Like, guys like Kyler, like, they run around wild. And he's been running around pretty crazy in these last couple of games. He's been showing his talent, but it's not like he can just kind of he can't do that schoolyard bullshit like in the Big 12, especially because the Big 12 is known for their just god awful defenses. In the NFL, it's like you gotta snap decisions. You gotta get that ball out quick. You gotta make your It's more pre-snap reads than it is about when the play develops. And eventually, once the game slows down, as you become more integrated in the league, then it becomes easier, and the game slows down, and these guys can make these decisions a lot better, and it's more natural for them. But yeah, Bills are gonna win that one. Next up, two very struggling teams. The 1-5 Falcons are at home against the 3-3 Rams. Rams are gonna have Jalen Ramsey for this game. Don't know if he's gonna play the entire game to get into the defensive system. But the thing about a guy like Jalen Ramsey is, and this isn't just because he's so talented. It's also because of the type of player that he is. He's not necessarily a zone corner, and that's why they got rid of Marcus Peters. Marcus Peters worked way better in a zone system, and they wanted someone that they could just put on a team's number one receiver, lock them down, and then you do crazy things with everyone else on defense. Just you match up against this guy. We're not going to worry about him, and we're just going to do whatever we have to, with the other 10 guys on the field. And that's something that Jalen Ramsey brings to the Rams. So he's going to be playing. He's probably going to be out for a majority of the snaps on Sunday. And I think the Rams are going to bounce back and go to 4-3, and then Dan Quinn might lose his job after this game.
We picked differently with this game.
Did we?
You got the Rams, I got Falcons. I think, because how that Falcons...
Is that a bar there, Chase?
What? No, let's let him. I want to hear his points first.
That offense, I think... second half last game against Arizona, they were showing their flashes and what they're actual capable of doing.
The Falcons looked very good against a bad Arizona defense, but I will say the Rams defense has not been playing up to par, and the Falcons offense is still putting up points. I believe Matt Ryan is leading the league in passing yards now. Yeah, weird, right? They're so shitty, and Matt Ryan's still putting up these numbers. It's just the defense just isn't there.
And they're playing from behind all these games, so they have to put the ball in Matt Ryan's hands the whole game. So.
Yeah, Devontae Freeman has been a non-factor because they're behind, and they just have to sling it all over the fucking field.
Fun matchup to watch this game, Ramsey versus Julio.
It's gonna be really fun.
It's gonna be a fun matchup.
It's gonna be really fun. I got the Rams. He's got the Falcons. I'm just gonna chalk that one up as a dub for me. I'm pretty confident with that one.
You said about the Dallas Cowboys game.
That's what I said about the Cowboys, but that's the fucking Cowboys.
Falcons would beat the Jets.
Shut the fuck up. Yeah, they probably would. I don't know.
Can't be close.
Okay, you know what? If they play, we'll get into that. Okay. Next up, Chargers Titans.
They don't play this year.
Yeah, they don't. But Chargers.
We both picked the Chargers.
We both picked the Chargers. Tennessee's up and down. They bench Marcus Mariota. I've lost faith in them. Tannehill's not going to get you anywhere. And I think the Chargers see this as a chance to really get it together. They're going to kick it into high gear because.
But Tannehill might have something to prove. Might want a job. I
confidently will say I think Philip Rivers is way better. Carrying offense way better than
They have more weapons on offense. They're all around more solid. They're better coached. They just haven't been playing well for some reason. I want to see if Anthony Lynn can get his boys back on track, but we're just gonna have to wait and see.
If they won't have a chance to get back in that division.
Melvin Gordon's gonna get his groove going eventually. Like he's not gonna stay quiet for very long. He's way too good. Next up, Baltimore and Seattle. This is a big game. Lamar's got to go to probably the toughest place to play in the NFL.
That's a tough matchup to pick.
It is. I picked the Seahawks though because they're at home.
We both did pick Seattle in this one.
They're at home. They're at home.
I think that defense is going to contain Lamar pretty good.
That's hard to do.
That is hard to do, but
Clowney.
There have been teams out there that have already done it this year. Now, well, who was it this year that did it? The Browns.
The Browns
did beat them. I think that Jadeveon Clowney and Bobby can contain.
Yeah, for sure. Bobby's probably just going to be spying on Lamar the whole game. I mean, that's going to be hard, though. Lamar's still faster than Bobby Wagner once he gets going, if he can get to the next level.
If he has open space, there's no stop.
Yeah, but I got Seattle. Russell Wilson's playing at an MVP-like level.
And it's at home. I got so much confidence.
And it's at home, 12th man. Yeah, I got Seahawks in that one.
Deadly at home this year.
This one is probably this might be my favorite game this week.
I regret who I picked. I will say that.
It's the Saints at the Bears. Teddy Bridgewater is winning, That's all he's been fucking doing.
They haven't been by a lot. All of games he's won, it's been basically by 7
It's
points.
been within 7 points for all of their wins. But
And they're
the Bears have the 4th ranked defense, and they're at home. That makes you want to give the edge to the Bears, right?
They don't have
Jared
a
Cook's
quarterback.
out. Jared Cook's
They
out.
have.
Too. Jared Cook's
They
out
are
tomorrow.
29th or worse in all offensive categories. They can't fucking do anything, and they're not gonna have Mitch Kissintitties back either.
But Teddy's losing 2 of his good weapons on offense, in Cook and Kamara.
That's right.
They
Cook
both
and
are
Kamara.
ruled out that game, that's gonna be big losses for that offense. I think.
That's gonna be big. I think this is gonna be a really gritty game. I mean, we've seen these kind of games from the Saints this year, and they've managed to pull it out. But
Yeah, I regret picking the Saints. I will say that.
I'm-
I think Chicago's gonna win that game, but I already picked the Saints.
well, no, you know what? Pick Chicago. I'm gonna stick with the Saints.
Okay.
Go ahead. Change it after the injury report comes out. I'm not gonna bitch because
Because I picked that. I did pick
I'm
that.
gonna
before
stick
the
with
injury
Teddy Two
report.
Gloves. I have confidence in him. He's got it.
It's gonna be. I think that's gonna be a pure defensive.
This is gonna be like a 16-17 game probably.
It's gonna be a defensive battle.
Next up, Philly and Dallas in Jerry's world.
Hold on. I have something I want to say about this. If the Cowboys lose this game, which I really hope they do,
Same.
they will be the first team ever to lose to all 3 green teams in the NFL in a row. Because first off, 2 of the green teams are NFC, one's AFC, the Jets. So
That's
you can-
really
you can-
unlikely.
You can only like, encounter this once every 4 years, and you have to somehow have the scheduling end up with all 3 of them in a row. They lost to the Packers 2 weeks ago. They lost to the Jets last week. They could lose to the Eagles this week and lose to all 3 green NFL teams in a row for the first time ever. Please lose, Dallas.
I think that. I got confidence in the Eagles this week. I think Eagles are gonna bounce back. And win this game.
I hate myself for this, but I picked Dallas.
Both defenses have not been playing good football.
The
all
Eagles are
this
so
year.
banged up. The Eagles are banged up. They've looked like shit. Granted, they played the Vikings in Minneapolis, but I mean,
They're
I
playing
think
Dak. I don't have any confidence in Dak. This whole he's not been playing good football at all.
we'll have to
this year.
see. I mean,
He
I'm
has his
very,
spurts. He does have his
I'm
spurts.
very skeptical because Amari Cooper has a quad bruise, which isn't a severe injury, but it hurts.
He won't
Is
be
he
playing.
He's gonna play.
He won't be playing.
He won't.
No, I'm saying at his top potential.
Yeah, he's not gonna be playing us. But it's like the thing is, it doesn't take much to burn the fucking Eagles secondary. So I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I picked the Cowboys. We had to
I got
have.
Philly.
We had to differentiate on that. We got a countdown one for our last pick
yeah.
of the week. Jets and
Monday night.
Jets and Patriots.
Jets, Patriots. 3, 2, 1.
Pats.
7-0, eh?
Yep, they're gonna go 7-0.
Yes,
Sam Darnold doesn't have mono anymore. He stopped kissing girls. Good
And
for
he
him.
comes back and wins his first game.
And he comes back, wins his first game. I mean, good for
Now he's got to go play Tom Brady.
good for Sam Darnold. You got a nice little warm up, and now you have to play the GOAT and the best coach in NFL history. That's not really looking in your favor, but fuck it. I mean, yeah, Patriots are gonna win this one.
Oh, yeah.
There's really not much to go over in this. Yeah, that pretty much wraps up our football segment for this week, and we'll see you on Monday for our review.